Hey eggheads, we're back. I know it's been literally 2 years since I posted a YouTube video. Very embarrassing, but we're back. That's all that matters. And today we are talking about 2025 beauty favorites. I know we are like a month into the new year already, but I am gonna pull the I'm quarter Chinese card, and the Lunar New Year isn't until like next month. So we get a second chance, we get a redo. Let's get into it. As always, I'm going to give you a drugstore option and a high-end option. So you do have options depending on what your budget is. And we're going in the order of which I apply my makeup. So starting with primer, going to foundation, concealer, etc. Let's get into it. And if you don't already follow me on TikTok and Instagram, make sure you join the egghead community over there as well. We do giveaways a lot. We yap, we have a good time, we giggle. It's fun over there, but let's get started. Starting with some primers, my most used drugstore primer was 100% the Maybelline Grippy Serum Primer. You have watched me drop this on my face again and again and again. You can get this at Ulta, you can get this at the drugstore. It's available everywhere, it's affordable. I like this more than all of my other grippy primers because it's not super sticky. I know the Milk one is super popular, but that one is so thick that I swear it makes your makeup look so cakey and bunchy and patchy, and it makes everything feel super heavy on the face. Not preferred. This one is super thin, it is super lightweight. It contains 2% niacinamide, so it helps with pores, discoloration, dark spots, all those good things, and it's a drugstore price. Who is Milk? We don't know her. Who is Elf? We don't know her. Maybelline, 100% of the way. For my high-end option, I know the previous years I have talked about the Danessa OG Blurring Balm. I know that's not a huge dent, but I promise less is more with this product, so this is actually a good amount of use. But this last year, I discovered that there is a radiant version of it. This is the blurring primer, just with a little bit of radiance. And what's so unique about this is the Upslate technology helps keep the oils at bay, help with sweat and mattifying throughout the day, but it has the most beautiful pearly sheen to it. So if you're like me and you don't want to be greasy and you don't want to be sweaty, but you still want that healthy skin kind of glow, this is amazing. It spackles over your pores. This is what I wore for the Bachelorette in New Orleans. Dripping hot, crazy humidity there. For long Disneyland days, for wedding weekend, tea ceremony, all of the above. One of the few primers I would recommend for all skin types, because whether you are dry or oily, it's not gonna strip your skin and it still gives you that beautiful glow. And I love that Danessa includes a little spatula. I personally just dig my fingers in there because it's my makeup, it's going on my face. But if you are a working makeup artist, that is super helpful to have. Getting into everyone's favorite thing to talk about, foundation. I swear my most viewed videos are always foundation and wear tests. So here were my two most used and abused the entire year. First, starting with drugstore, this is the Maybelline Lumi Matte Foundation 30-hour wear. This was originally released in Asia for an entire year before it got to the US. Shout out to my friends who bought it from Japan. Truly loved. This is the best foundation. If you are looking for full coverage, if you're looking for a slight luminosity to your skin, not super flat matte, not super dry and like cakey looking. Now I will say this is not for the dry girls. If you are dry, it's probably going to cling to dry patches and kind of emphasize that. Not great, but if you are normal, oily combo, oily, the wear on this is crazy. The way this looks on the skin reminds me so much of everyone's holy grail, the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. And while it has beautiful medium to full buildable kind of coverage, it doesn't feel heavy on the skin. It is so fluid, it is so light. I'd recommend this time and time again. Honestly, if I did my own makeup for my wedding this last year and I wanted to keep it drugstore and on a budget, I would 100% have used this foundation. For a high-end option, if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram or any of my short form content, this should not be a surprise at all. This is the Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. Now the High Glam Concealer, my ride or die of the last 2 years. So when I saw that they were coming out with a foundation, I was like, yeah, add to cart immediately. I wear the shade RN3. This is the perfect kind of texture where it is fluid, but it still has some body to it. It's silky, it's creamy, it's hydrating, but it's not overly hydrating. One of the few foundations I could recommend for all skin types, whether you are dry, sensitive, all the way to super oily. Just make sure you use a really good primer and set your makeup. Super gorgeous, frosted bottle, nice, heavy luxe kind of component. If you are thinking of doing your own makeup, whether it be for a formal event, wedding, whatever it is, or you just want a foundation for like special occasions, please look into Natasha Denona. This is truly like the best foundation I've tried in the last 5, 6, 8 years. So stinking good. Just make sure you set it because it can get a little bit too hydrating sometimes. If you were to tell me even 2 years ago that my favorite skin tint would be in a stick format for both drugstore and high-end, I would have called you crazy. For the entirety of my life, I was like, a stick product is always heavy, it is always cakey, I am not interested. And I was proven wrong. embarrassingly so, this year. So starting with drugstore, this is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Skin Tint Stick. Now, I don't know how Milani did it, but they made the most insane, super lightweight formula and truly put a skin tint in a stick. It is blurring, it is lightweight, it is soft focus. It's one of those products that you can just slap on in the morning and run out the door. You can even blend this with your fingers, and I'm not someone that blends anything with my fingers. I am a very brush, sponge, tool applicator kind of girl, but this with the warmth of your fingers just melts into your skin perfectly. Perfect medium kind of coverage. It's affordable and outperforms like 90% of the complexion sticks on the market. For a drugstore price, truly, I don't even know how they did it. Whoever's doing product development at Milani, give them a raise. Stunning. Now, kind of the higher end counterpart to this is the ILIA stick. This is the ILIA Skin Rewind Complexion Stick. Very, very similar vibe. I will say this has just a smidge more coverage. This is a true foundation stick, so you can get up to a medium full kind of coverage, whereas the Milani is a skin tint stick, so the most you can get is a medium. And the pros of the ILIA one is it does have more skincare in there as well, so that's always a bonus, and you are paying a little bit more for it. But very similar vibe, a really quick 5-minute face, something you can blend out with your fingers, looks even better with a brush or a sponge, and it feels so lightweight on the skin. The stick formulas that we grew up with were so thick and cakey. It truly was like stage makeup on the day-to-day. So when I saw so many stick products coming out last year, I was a hater. I didn't believe it. But for a no makeup look, for a 5-minute face, Milani and ILIA, absolutely. I would repurchase this time and time again. Moving on to concealer, I didn't really have any new concealer finds this year. I feel like a lot of brands were focused more on releasing lip product, recession indicator perhaps. These were definitely my two most used concealer of 2025. For drugstore, we have the NYX Pro Fix Stick. I know, another stick product. I don't know what's going on. I think this is actually my very last of it. This absolutely caught me off guard. This 100% surprised me because, again, under the impression that anything stick is going to be thick, it's going to be cakey, especially under the eyes. I do have dry under eyes. I was like, there's absolutely no way. You can watch me eat my words because the way this blended out both under the eye and all over the face, it was perfect for spot correcting, for dark circles, for brightening depending on what shade you get. And they do have color correcting shades too. There's like a pink and a peach and a green, but the way this blended out was absolutely next level. I was reaching for this more often than any of my high-end concealers, and it's like a third of the price of most of the concealers at Sephora. This is like $10, $12. And you can see on the back of my hand, even though it's a stick formula, it doesn't settle into any fine lines. It doesn't settle into any wrinkles. The blur and the blend is absolutely beautiful, and just look how seamless that looks. Right. 2025 really launched drugstore into freaking orbit. It's exciting. I'm excited. And then for a high-end option, this should be no surprise to anyone. This has been one of my favorite high-end concealers for the last probably 5 years. This is a cult classic. This is the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. It's absolutely perfect. It is full coverage, but it's still thin. It's a beautiful blurring kind of soft matte. And even if you have dry under eyes or dry skin, it doesn't cling. It doesn't emphasize texture. It doesn't make your eyes look crepey and dry and cracked. It is so special. I will almost never tell you to spend more than like $15 on a concealer because drugstore has really great options, but there's something so special about this Hourglass one. I'll show you right here. You need the teeniest, tiniest amount, and it gives you the fullest coverage ever. I wear the shade Silk. I've worn this almost every single day for the last year, and we're still like only halfway through. Okay, cream blushes. I am kind of excited that cream blushes are kind of phasing out for 2026, but I feel like everyone uses them still. I use them still. I'm kind of excited for the powder resurrection, but had to mention these because I did really use them all year. And I'm not saying one is a dupe of the other, but I am saying they're gonna look very similar on the cheek. So for a drugstore option, this is the Morphe Cheek Thrills Multi-Finish Face Trio in the shade Sunset Swim, which is this beautiful toasty kind of beige color. What makes this product specifically so unique is it comes with a cream, a luminous balm, and a powder, and all three of the formulas are absolutely stunning. I would say these were the best drugstore launch of the entire year. This really caught me off guard. So many products have tried to dupe super iconic Sephora ones and have failed. I'm not saying this is a dupe because of course it's a trio versus a duo, but what I am saying is every single formula in here is super high-end, it is super luxurious, and this luminous balm in the middle specifically just puts the most beautiful gloss on your cheek. It's a really stunning blush topper, and I can't think of a single other blush product that involves a matte satin kind of cream and a luminous cream, so you can definitely mix and match depending on what you're feeling. And what really caught me off guard with this is the longevity. This stays on all day. And mind you, I live in California. It doesn't get super hot here, but there was a heat wave this last year. And when that was happening, I was wear testing this. This looked almost brand new. By the end of a 10-hour wear test as when I applied it. Can't say that about many products. I really can't. And of course, the Patrick Ta Double Take blushes. This was actually my favorite and most used shade of this entire year. This is a newer shade called She Goes to the Gym. This is like a cool toned mauve. The reason it's called She Goes to the Gym is because it's supposed to mimic the natural flush that your cheeks get when you're having a really good workout or after a really good Pilates session. Everyone is super familiar with these formulas, so I won't stay here too long and bore you. But what I really love about the Patrick Ta blushes is they're so beautiful. They're buildable. They're pigmented right off the bat, but you can build them up to the desired amount of pigmentation you want. Phenomenal longevity as well. And of course, the Patrick method, powder blush first, cream blush second. Iconic. I will always stand a Patrick Ta duo because girl math says that's buy one get one free. That's a BOGO. Cream contours, cream bronzers. Honestly, I know there's a huge difference between bronzer and contour, right? Bronzer is supposed to be a little bit warmer on the face. Contour is supposed to be cooler and create the illusion of shadows. You know the gist. The thing is, because I am more cool toned, I know I look warm on camera because I love a lot of bronzer, but I truly am pasty. She is pale, she is cool toned, and so I've been kind of using contour shades to also bronze the face. So I'm just gonna show you cream contours because personally, for my skin tone and skin type, I've just been using them. For my skin tone, I can use cooler contour shades for both. For drugstore, we have Morphe yet again. I'm telling you, something crazy is happening in the Morphe labs this year because all their formulas have been so good. This is the Morphe Shapelifter Micro Contour Stick. Now, what's great about this is not only are the cool tones amazing, but how precise this is makes contouring your nose the easiest thing in the world. And you can even contour the sides of your face, under your lip, give your lip a little bit more volume, a little bit more shadow. You can contour the eyes if you want that lifted fox-eye kind of look. And I just love it on the nose. It makes it so stinking easy. The blend is incredible. The longevity is incredible. I do get a really sweaty and oily nose and oily T-zone, and this lasts amazingly. And again, the contour shades. So many brands will say something is a contour and it's warm tone. Things turn orange very easily on me. So the fact that Morphe nailed these contour shades and they're super blendable and they look like a natural shadow. Not sponsored by Morphe, but could be. Call me. And I fear my favorite cream contour that wasn't drugstore is DIOR. I know, 0 to 100 real quick. This is the DIOR Skin Contour Light Sculpt Stick. I have it in the shade 01 Light. This is one of the creamiest formulas I have ever experienced. That was the ugliest swatch ever. I'm so sorry. But the way this melts onto the skin and the way this blends out so easily too, I would say it does have less pigmentation than the average contour stick, but as someone who is lighter, I do prefer that. Oftentimes, because I'm lighter, it is very easy to overdo it, and this is basically fail-proof. Now, between Morphe and DIOR, which one would I pick if I had to pick one? Honestly, in this economy, Morphe is 100% my pick. It is thin, it is balmy, and because I contour my nose every day, this is just something that is more useful to me. The DIOR, love her, but it is a little bit of a chubbier stick, and it does sometimes get a little bit tricky getting on the sides of the nose and smaller areas of the face for detail work. I'm telling you, 2026 is the year for drugstore. 2026 is the year of powder blushes. I'm kind of manifesting that cream blushes kind of go away, but that's only because I'm combo oily. I know that cream blushes are better for dry skin, but I've been a powder blush girl through and through from the very beginning. My drugstore pick, 1000% Milani. I have the old formula and the new formula. They're both wonderful. This was 100% my most used powder blush of 2025, and they discontinued it with the reformulation. That is fine. That is fine. There's a similar shade. This is the old formula in Petal Primavera. This is the new formula in Berry Amore. Both absolutely stunning on the cheek. I will say the only real difference between the old and new formula is the new formulas do have a little bit more of a shimmer to it. I do have it on. As you can see, there's definitely more sheen to it, but I love both. The formula is so luxurious. The way these just glide over the skin and look like the most beautiful blurring veil of blush. And again, super affordable. If you've ever tried any of the Hourglass baked blushes, you will know that the Milani one is just as good. Sometimes even better. Sometimes those Hourglass ones are just a little bit too shimmery for my personal preference. But for a high-end option, Ciele absolutely took the cake. This is the Ciele Flush and Protect SPF 45 blush. Now for me, I get so much freckling on my cheeks. It's genetic. My mom and sister both have a lot of cheek freckles as well, and sometimes they're cute and sometimes they're not. Hyperpigmentation goes crazy like that, but having SPF in your blush is just so next level genius. I'm so surprised no other brands have really thought about it, especially Asian brands. These are also formulated in Korea, but it is a USA brand. But I digress. I love these. The shade Cozy is just my perfect burnt beigey, you know me and my boring shades. And the way that these apply on the cheek as well, they are very like veil-like. They are very soft. They're very blendable. They remind me a lot of K-beauty. They're actually inspired by K-beauty and they're made in Korea, so that just makes sense. I'm not saying that you should use this as your primary source of SPF. Always, always, always wear regular SPF. Everything on top, everything infused in makeup and other skincare, just a bonus. But I have not stopped using them since they launched, and I just think the packaging as well, they look like little pieces of sea glass. They're so cute. A blush revolution, truly. And really quickly, I am going to rapid fire and just put my tutorial right here as I talk you through my holy grail brow products of the year. I'm not really gonna do drugstore and high-end for this because really and truly, these are the best of the best and I think they're worth every single penny. So first of all, I will run the Rare Beauty Brow Gel all through my hairs. I will back comb it, I will front comb it, and then clean it up at the very top. This brow gel is absolutely incredible. And what's so great about it is it gives you the perfect amount of hold, but it's a comfortable and flexible hold. It's not hard, it's not crunchy, it's not stiff and uncomfortable. I let that completely dry down and then I underline the lower part or the bottom of my brow with the Morphe again, I know, the Morphe brow pencil. I used the shade Chocolate Mousse. Absolute, in my opinion, perfect shade if you have darker hair. It's not so black that it's like stark Sharpie brow, but it's not so light that you can see the natural color of your brows versus your brow product, if you know what I mean. And this will create the perfect kind of definition without, again, looking stark and looking chunky. And then wherever I still have sparseness and kind of like bald patches in my brows, I use the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. I've been using this for years and years. This is truly the perfect amount of pigmentation. It goes on super natural, like 50% pigment, but I do like that. Now I do prefer a more dramatic brow. That's just my preference. If you do like a softer K-beauty or J-beauty inspired brow, probably not the routine for you, but I'm 28 years old and in my 28 years of life, I have never gotten so many questions and compliments on my eyebrows as I did this last year with this routine that's mostly drugstore, and honestly, even the Rare Brow Gel is pretty affordable for how long it lasts and how well it performs. For powders, I'm not even gonna give you a high-end option because ever since these launched last year, they're all I use. And I love my Laura Mercier powder, Ultra Blur. I talk about that all the time, but that is like 40 bucks. These L'Oreal Infallible Blurfection powders, a quarter of that price. I have the shade 20 Translucent Light and I have the shade 10 Light Pink. The Light Pink is perfect for brightening under the eye. Translucent Light has a little teensy bit of coverage to it, but if anything, it just evens things out. It's not a lot of coverage. I'm trying to think of words to describe how much I love this powder. I cannot even describe to you how perfect this powder is. It is mattifying, it is blurring, it makes your face look like you have a filter on. I do have the Light Pink on my under eye today and I feel like it gives the perfect kind of brightness and it kind of meshes my concealer with my blush as well. And they're drugstore and they're long lasting. And if you have issues with texture, with pores, with just your makeup slipping and sliding throughout the day, I promise this is gonna change your life. I've only have good things to say about this. If I had to sacrifice the rest of my loose powders and only keep one, this would be it. This, absolutely. For setting sprays, again, I do prefer something a little bit longer lasting, a little bit more mattifying just for my skin type. For drugstore, this is nothing new. This is the Milani Make It Last Setting Spray. This has absolutely one of the best atomizers there are on the market. I did a lot of traveling last year. Again, bachelorette, multiple trips. I was a bridesmaid for my friend's wedding, honeymoon, the list goes on. This is just the perfect size. This is 60 milliliters. So this fits in travel bags so perfectly. It slips right in. It's inexpensive. The long wear on this is absolutely insane. This is a cult classic, so I'm not gonna stay here for long. I have gone through bottles of this year. Multiple. This is a setting spray that I just give out like candy every time one of my girlfriends or family members, or I met a stranger on the cruise ship and she asked me for a setting spray recommendation because we were dancing our ass off and my makeup didn't move. I just gave her mine. I'm like, here, have it. This is truly my favorite setting spray of probably all time. And a setting spray that came out last year that I truly think revolutionized setting sprays. Like, this changed the trajectory of setting sprays. The way that the Fenty shade range changed the trajectory of like what's acceptable in the market for how many shades a brand should have. The Danessa Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm Spray. Never used anything like this, okay? This is absolutely incredible. This is the liquid version of that blurring balm primer of this that I was talking about earlier. Danessa's whole philosophy with making this was there are skin types, specifically dry, that you do need to set it in place because you can't just leave wet product on the face, especially things can stick to it and it's annoying and it's kind of gross. But you don't want to really pack a really heavy powder on, especially for drier skin types, and or for working makeup artists who don't want to constantly be dipping big fluffy brushes into powders and having to wash them, because these are the most annoying brushes to wash. You should know that, right? I was gonna say if you know, you know, but I'm hoping everyone's washing their makeup brushes. This is a setting powder in a bottle. Like, it's meant to give a powdery kind of film to your face in the best way possible, where you don't have to set your face with a physical powder. Now for me, because I'm oily, I'm still gonna do both to really lock it in throughout the day. But if I had to recommend one spray to all skin types, whether you are mature, dry, the list goes on. Absolutely stunning. The Epsilite technology to help keep the oils and the sweat at bay also in this. Is it expensive? Yes, but I'm telling you, the technology in this, the formulation of this, the concept, the philosophy, I think it's absolutely revolutionary, and I think it's worth every single penny, as most Danessa products are. Alrighty, that is it for my 2025 makeup hits. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that follow button and stick around for part 2 2025 makeup shits, because I'm telling you, if you didn't know, I used to be a manager at Ulta, Sephora, and DIOR. I'm picky and a hater. There's literally a 5-gallon bin of makeup that I absolutely hated this last year, and I'm so excited to tell you about that. So make sure you stick around, follow for more. I am really taking YouTube super seriously this year. That was a really big goal of mine. Creating short form content primarily on TikTok and IG Reels for the last almost 5 years. That's crazy. I really just got into this comfort zone where short form was like my bread and butter, and I just really want to spend more time with you. I'm really excited. Thank you for being on this journey with me, and I'll see you in part 2. Bye, I guess.